عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، inshallah we do the last section of Surah Abasa wa Tawalla. The last section speaks about الصاخة. قال الله تعالى فإذا جاءت الصاخة, then when there shall come the deafening blast, the cry that will make the people deaf, it's a scream, a cry that is so loud that they will hear, but then it will make them deaf, right? يوم يفر المرء من أخيه, that day shall flee, shall run away, a person from his brother, and his mother and his father, وأمه وأبيه, وصاحبته وبنيه, and his wife and his children. لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه. Every person of them that day shall have a state, shall have an affair that will suffice him, that will be enough to busy him, that is enough to busy him away from being concerned with others. That's what it means here. لكل امرئ منهم, every person of them that day shall have a state, shall have an affair, shall have a matter that will suffice him, that will make him, as they say, my hands are full, they are sufficed, they can't take any more. وجوه يومئذ مسفرة, some faces that day shall be gleaming, shall be lit up, shall be shining. مسفرة, shining, gleaming, radiant. ضاحكة مستبشرة, smiling and rejoicing. Smiling, ضاحكة, smiling, laughing, and مستبشرة, rejoicing, here, rejoicing, happy. This is coming from the bushra, to be happy, to be having good news, to be having glad tidings, right? وَوُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَلَيْهَا غَبَرَةٌ, and some faces will have that day on them dust. So some faces will be dusty. وَوُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَلَيْهَا غَبَرَةٌ, and some faces will يَوْمَئِذٍ, on that day, or have that day, عليها غبرة, on them dust. ترهقها قترة, there will overtake them, they will cover them, there will cover them, there will overtake them قترة, gloom, right? they will be blackened, right? ترهقها قترة, covered in black. أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة, such ones, they are the unbelievers, al-kafara, al-fajara, the sinful, the wicked ones, right? So that is the last piece of Surah Abasa. Now we go through the meaning from our book, Al-Mu'in ala Fahm al-Juz' al-30, the helper in understanding the 30th part of the Quran. معاني الكلمات, the meanings of the words. فإذا جاءت الصاخة, so when there will come الصاخة. الصاخة, the meaning of it, he says, الصيحة الشديدة, the cry that is so loud, so severe. وهي يوم القيامة, and it is the day of judgment. الصاخة. So when that day, as-sakha, comes, the day which will have a very loud cry in it, right? يوم يفر المرء, the day when the person will run away from his brother, mother, father, wife, children. لكل امرئ منهم, every person amongst them, يومئذ, that day, شأن يغنيه, شأن يغنيه. He says شأن يغنيه, أمر يشغله عن غيره. شأن يغنيه, an affair, أمر, an affair, a matter, يشغله, that will busy him away, عن غيره, from others. Every person shall have that day an affair, a matter that will busy him away from being concerned about others. شأن يغنيه. وجوه يومئذ مسفرة. Faces on that day will be مسفرة. مسفرة, he says, مضيئة, lit up, ومشرقة, and illuminated. Right? مضيئة ومشرقة. So faces on that day will be, يعني some faces will be that day shiny, shining, glittering, gleaming, lit up, illuminated. ضاحكة مستبشرة. ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة. And faces, يعني some faces on that day will have on them dust, right? He says عليها غبرة, عليها آثار الخزي والندامة. Upon these faces there will be the traces, آثار, traces of خزي. خزي is disgrace, humiliation, and nadama. Nadama is regret, pitifulness, right? Being regretful, nadama. So some faces will be shiny and lit up, gleaming, radiant, and some faces will be having this dust, right, upon them, meaning they have traces, the marks, athar, the marks of disgrace and regret. ترهقها قترة تغطيها ظلمة. He says ترهقها قترة, يعني there will be تغطيها, there will be covered ظلمة, with darkness, gloominess, right? يوم تبيض وجوه وتسود وجوه, right? As in the Quran in Surah Al-Imran, a day on which faces will be whitened or white and faces will be blackened, right? Faces will be black, faces will be white, right? Again here you have lit up, shiny, and you have, you know, the faces that are dusty and gloomy, right? أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. الفجرة means الذين يخرجون عن حدود الدين. Those who transgress, they go out of the boundaries, they go out of the limits of the religion. طيب, التفسير الإجمالي للآيات, the general explanation of the verses. يجب على الإنسان أن يتذكر. It is a must upon the human to remember. أن يتذكر أن هذه الدنيا تشبه حديقة. That this worldly life resembles, looks like a garden. فيها نباتات وأشجار. In it, in that garden, there are plants, نباتات. One is nabat, نباتات, right? Female, plural, right? Salim, right? Unbroken, right? طيب, نباتات وأشجار, trees. One شجرة, and أشجار is the plural. This plural is broken plural. Otherwise, the female is shajarat. You add alif and ta, becomes, right, female, but then sound unbroken, right? This one ashjar is broken. طيب. So it is a must upon the human to remember that this worldly life looks like a garden that has in it plants and trees. فكما أنه يأتي على هذه الحديقة وقت تموت فيه هذه النباتات والأشجار, exactly like there will come upon this garden a time, وقت, a time, تموت فيه هذه النباتات والأشجار, that these plants and trees will die. فإن الدنيا ستزول أيضا. Surely likewise this worldly life will vanish, will end. إن الله تعالى يقول, surely Allah Ta'ala says, وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا, give them the parable, the example for this worldly life. كَمَاءٍ أَنزَلْنَاهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, it is like, this is the parable now, like water, يعني rainwater, that we sent down from the sky. فَاخْتَلَطَ بِهِ نَبَاتُ الْأَرْضِ, so the trees of the earth got, or the plants of the earth got mixed and mingled with this water. So it got together with that water. فَأَصْبَحَ هَشِيمًا تَذْرُوهُ الرِّيَاحُ, then it turned into hashim, scattered particles, right? That is being scattered by the winds, right? You have the plants and the vegetation and the fruits and the trees, they look nice, and then in the end they wither away, right? They broken up, they become particles that are shattered and broken up, and then the wind will blow them away. That's what it ends up being. So like that, Allah says, so it's like water, rainwater that was sent down from the sky, got mixed with the plants of the earth, then it turned into particles and dust that is being blown away by the winds. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُقْتَدِرًا, and surely Allah is all able to do everything. Right? Why is he saying this introduction? Because last week we had that piece about فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَى طَعَامِهِ. Let the human look into, examine, reflect, ponder about his food. Right? You eat the food and then what happens to it? Right? It's finished. The fruit is very nice when you have it in your hand, you eat it, you enjoy it, and then what happens to it? Right? So in one beautiful hadith, Rasulullah ﷺ, he says that the parable of this worldly life, the enjoyment, the nice, thing about life, is like the food of one of you. وَإِن قَزَّحَهُ وَمَلَّحَهُ, if you spice it up and put salt on it, the food, when you spice it up and you put salt on it, becomes tasty, very tasty, right? This is how you do. If you want it to taste good, you do that, right? But Rasulullah ﷺ says, فَلْيَنْظُرْ إِلَى مَا يَصِيرُ, let him reflect and think what this very spicy food that is nicely salted, right? Lightly salted or heavily salted. For some of us, they like to, have the shaker just next to them and they keep salting their food. Reflect, think how it will end up being, where it will end. It just goes down the drain. That's what it is, right? Before that, the week before that, right? قُتِلَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا أَكْفَرَهُ مِنْ أَيِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقَهُ. What was he created from? This human. There is so much, he was created from the sperm. So the sperm goes in the womb, right? And then the child comes out of that. The rain goes down on the earth, then the seeds, they break up and they bring the plants and the vegetables and the rest of it. But then all of it is gone, right? The child ends up where? In the grave. And the food down the drain, right? So we don't just read the Quran and Allah says, فَلْيَنْظُرْ, let him look. Not just look, get the food and look at it. Look, ponder and reflect where things will end up being. Right? So now he puts this introduction that the human must remember that this worldly life resembles a garden. You have trees and fruits or plants in it. There is a time where this garden will finish, and exactly the worldly life will finish. Then he gave that example from the ayah from Surah Al-Kahf. Rain water came down from the sky, mixed with the plants of the earth, then turned into scattered particles of dust that the wind is blowing away. That's the whole story of this worldly life, right? It's just like that. He says, إِذَا زَالَتِ الدُّنْيَا, if this worldly life vanishes, ends, وَجَاءَتِ الْآخِرَةِ, the next life comes, الَّتِي فِيهَا النَّعِيمُ وَالْعَذَابُ, in which there will be the enjoyment, na'im, and adhab, punishment, torment. فإن الإنسان في هذا اليوم يهرب من أخيه. Surely the human on that day, when the akhirah comes, the next life, on that day he will run away from his brother. الذي كان له عونا له في الدنيا. His brother who was a source of support, عون, support, assistance for him in this worldly life. He will run away from him. وينسى أمه التي حملته وربته. He will forget his mother who carried him, that is pregnancy, and raised him up. She brought him up. ويترك أباه. He leaves his father. الذي تعب كثيرا من أجله. He leaves his father who tired himself so much for his sake. His father who went through a lot of suffering just for the sake of his child. The child, he will leave him on that day. ويهجر زوجته التي كان يحبها في الدنيا. And he abandons his wife whom he used to love in this worldly life. Some people, they get so much affected, so much in love with their spouses. Husband with the wife with the... They can't imagine being separated. But on that day, they abandon one another. ويتخلى عن أولاده الذين كانوا أحب شيء إليه في الدنيا. He also ignores, he leaves, he abandons his children who were most beloved thing, the most beloved thing for him in this worldly life. Why is that happening? He says, لأنه مشغول بأمر نفسه فقط. Because he is busy with the affair of his own self only. He is busy only with his own affair. That's why he is not concerned about the others. وليس عنده وقت. He does not have time. ولا فرصة. He doesn't even have opportunity. ليسأل عن أخبار غيره. No time, no opportunity even to ask about the news of the others, reports about others. وليس مستعدا لذلك أصلا. He's not, in principle, he's not even prepared for that. Let alone fetching the news like in this worldly life, those nosy people, they ask about everything and they want to know everything, and they grill you and ask you, you know, everything about your work and where you were born and how many children and, you know, where did you go and where did you come from. That they are not, you know, concerned about that at all, right? To a point, يعني, you know, the famous hadith that they mention in the tafsir in this place, that Rasulullah ﷺ said, يحشر الناس يوم القيامة, that the people will be gathered on the day of judgment, حفاة, with bare feet, عراة, naked, غرلا, uncircumcised. Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, she's shocked. Men and women naked looking at each other. He said to her, الأمر أكبر من ذلك. The affair, أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. The affair is bigger than that. Nobody is concerned who's wearing and who's not wearing. They don't care about that. It doesn't concern them at all, because they are so much busy with their own affairs, right? He said, يحصل كل هذا مع الإنسان. All of this happens with the human or to the human being بسبب ما يراه من أشياء مخيفة, because of what he sees of things that are terrifying. مخيفة, terrifying, scary, terrifying, مخيفة. يوم القيامة, on that day, the day of judgment, he sees terrifying things. تجعله يهتم بنفسه فقط. Those terrifying things on the day of judgment, تجعله, they make him, تجعله, they make him, يهتم, being concerned, بنفسه فقط, only by his own self. فقط means only or period, right? فإن مقياس الدنيا يختلف عن مقياس الآخرة. For what we use to measure, the measuring tool, مقياس, the yardstick, the measuring tool, مقياس, right? What we use to measure things in this worldly life, the yardstick, is different from the measuring tool, the yardstick, in the next life. Here you are concerned about your mother, your father, your wife, your children, your brother. The next life, those standards, they are very different. The standard there is everyone is busy with his own self. يكون الناس يوم القيامة قسمين. The people on the day of judgment will be two groups, two categories. القسم الأول, the first category, يكون مسرورا ضاحكا. The first group will be happy and smiling, laughing. متفائلا, optimistic. مستبشرا, having good news, happy, glad. لأن أعماله في الدنيا كانت صالحة. That is because his deeds in this worldly life, they were righteous deeds, صالحة. وسيكافأ عليها بالجنة. There is a mistake in writing this one here. The fa, there is a waw, it should be a waw and a hamza on the waw, not a ya and a hamza. So you correct that. وَسَيُكَافَأُ عَلَيْهَا بِالْجَنَّةِ. And he will be rewarded for them, those righteous deeds, he will be rewarded for them with paradise. وَالْقِسْمُ الثَّانِي, and the second group, the second category, يَكُونُ حَزِينًا بَاكِيًا. He will be حزينا, sad, باكيا, crying. على وجهه علامات الحزن. On his face there will be the signs of sadness. علامات. One is علامة, plural. علامات, signs. Signs. علامات الحزن, the signs of sorrow and sadness. والندامة, and the signs of regret, لأن أعماله في الدنيا كانت سيئة. That is because his deeds in this worldly life were evil deeds. وسيعاقب عليها بالنار, and he will be punished for them, for those evil deeds, with the fire. فوائد وإرشادات من الآيات. Benefits and guidelines from these verses. Number one, يكون الإنسان يوم القيامة مشغولا بأمر نفسه فقط. The human on the day of judgment will be مشغولا, busy. So if you ask you to do something, you say أنا مشغول, I am busy. أنا مشغول, right? I am busy, مشغول. So the human on the day of judgment will be مشغولا, will be busy with the affair of his own self only. بأمر نفسه فقط. Only with the affair of his own self. Number two, يهرب الإنسان يوم القيامة. On the day of judgment, the human will run away, flee. من أمه, from his mother, وأبيه, his father, ومن أخيه, and from his brother, ومن زوجته وأبنائه, and from his wife and his children. Number three, الناس يوم القيامة قسمان. The people on the day of judgment are two groups, two categories. قسم مسرور, a category that is happy. ويدخل الجنة, and that group will enter paradise. وقسم حزين, and a group that is sad. ويدخل النار, and will enter the fire. تدريبات ومناقشات. Exercises and discussions. Number one, ممن يهرب الإنسان يوم القيامة. From whom does the human run away on the day of judgment? يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه. Wife and children. 5. They are mentioned, right? So if you know these words, you know the Arabic of brother, mother, father, right? Wife and children, right? طيب. Number 2, لماذا يهرب الإنسان من أقرب الناس إليه يوم القيامة? Why is it that the human runs away from the closest people to him on the day of judgment? لكل امرئ, for every human being, for every person, يومئذ, on that day, شأن, they have an affair, a state, a condition, a matter, يغنيه, that will make him concerned, make him busy with his own self, right? A matter that is sufficient to busy him away from anybody else. Number 3, كم قسما سيكون الناس يوم القيامة? How many categories the people will be on the day of judgment? They will be قسماني. قسم is one group. قسماني is 2 categories, right? The dual, right? Number 4, ما وصف الناس الذين سيدخلون الجنة? What is the description of the people who will enter paradise? وجوه يومئذ مسفرة, shining. ضاحكة, laughing, smiling. مستبشرة, happy, having good news. ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة, on them there will be dust. ترهقها قترة, covered with darkness and gloominess, right? So from these verses, right, you learn how shiny, beautiful face is and how darkened, gloomy face is, right? And laughing and smiling, those words, you will learn them and you will know the other side too, right? اذكر مثنى وجمع الكلمات التالية. Mention the dual and the plural of the following words, right? So again, this book is geared towards teaching the Arabic, right? So you have the word akhun, which means a brother. He wants the dual. What do you do? Akhawani, right? Akhawani. You have to add the waw here. Waw, alif, nun. Akhawan, right? He wants the plural. Ikhwatun. Ikhwatun. Right? So now, doing this book, we learned the singular and the dual and the plural too for these important words. So you say, I have one brother, li akhun, or akhawani, two, or ikhwatun, thalatha, three or more, ikhwa, right? Brothers. Abun, that's one. Two of them, abawani, abawani, right? Abawani. And the plural is aba, right? Abaukum, right? Aba in the Quran, aba, yes, different places. Ibnun, that's the third one. One ibnun, ibnani, two children, ibnani. And the plural is abna, abna'u, abna, right? Aba'ukum wa abna'ukum, right? Also abna is in different places in the Quran, right? So let's add to these akhun, abun, ibnun. Let's add ukhtun, becomes ukhtani, and the plural is akhawat, right? And don't say ukhtat, right? Akhawat, right? Akhawat, right? So now we have also sahiba, sahiba, right? Sahiba. Sahiba is sahib is a companion, right? Sahib is a companion. Sahiba is a female companion. That's the original meaning, right? Then sahiba is meant for the wife here, right? Sahibatun wa sahibatihi wa bani, right? Sahiba, his wife, right? طيب. So sahiba is one, sahibatani, right? And the plural is sahibat, right? Sahibat, right? The female plural of the word, inshallah. طيب. So we are done, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.